The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the David Pakman Show. Later on today, if you're watching us live on ustream.tv, we'll be playing the debut edition of Has Lewis Ever? It'll be a live opportunity for the audience to win your choice of a free David Pakman Show membership or t-shirt, of course, made from recycled cotton scraps and plastic bottles. So add us on Skype at David Pakman Show if you're interested in playing. That's coming up later on the show. It's incredible, Lewis. It's all happening. Congratulations to you, first and foremost.
Thank you.
We had an earthquake here at the studio the other day, and 2 days ago, as a matter of fact, and in certain other parts of the country, too. The epicenter was in, I believe, Mineral, Virginia, and here it was, I want to say it was 25 or 30 seconds of shaking. It was probably more like 15. And I was just here in the studio by myself doing some work, and all of our lights started shaking. At first, I thought I was just dizzy. But then I realized, no, the lights were shaking too, and that's not in my head. A lot of stuff is in my head only that happens in life generally to me.
Yeah,
but
a lot of really crazy things.
The earthquake was not only in my head. And I went outside, and everybody was walking out kind of confused. And right away, of course, people blaming, not so much blaming God, but saying this is evidence that God is angry for liberal stuff. Right, Lewis? So counts everything from, for example, Joe, who said, Washington, D.C. earthquake today reaches other states, including New York. Perhaps the message is from our Lord God that we need to stop removing Jesus from our schools and the public forum and replacing God with garbage. There's too much anti-Jesus stuff going on, Lewis, and that is why we had an earthquake, pretty mild in most cases, that a couple people felt as a minor vibration.
Right.
Because, of course, if God really was paying attention to whether there is same-sex marriage legislation passed or not, and if that made God angry, he would send a very minor tremor to Massachusetts, which was the first state to have same-sex marriage, for example. Perfectly logical, Lewis.
Yeah. Maybe he was just tired and didn't want to do like a full-blown 10 on the Richter scale. You know? Just a little warning.
A lot of explanations for this. And, of course, Edward saying, it's obvious from this earthquake that has happened that God is angry with us. And I am almost sure that it is because we allowed gay marriage to happen, and also that our government is not following Christianity. He's almost sure. Not completely sure, but he's almost sure that it's because of gay marriage that we had a very minor earthquake here in Massachusetts and across the eastern seaboard. Brilliant stuff, really.
I have a theory.
Do you think these people really believe that when they say it? In other words, it's not, if you don't believe that we had a minor earthquake because God is angry because of liberal stuff, you probably wouldn't say it because you'd be ashamed if people believed you thought that.
Right.
At the same time, how does someone really believe that that could be the case? I don't know. It's weird. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around. It really is. What's your theory?
How does someone like Sarah Palin? These are questions we ask all the time. We have no answers.
So there's just a lot of things we don't have answers to.
Right.
Which is why a lot of people believe in God, interestingly enough, but a lot of those bringing up new questions.
It's convenient.
It feels like when you hear about these accusations, and we heard it with the Japanese Fukushima disaster, and we hear it with just about every natural disaster, Katrina and so many others, it feels like what you would read in a book or story about 2,000 years ago, or, 1,000 years ago, when people didn't understand anything about science and they thought, for example, the sun coming up was, the eyes of a monster opening, or it's tantamount to that when I hear many of these things. But now we know so much more, and it really feels like being transported to another place and time when I read about the earthquake is because God is angry about gay marriage.
Yeah, you're right. It's archaic.
Thank you, Lewis. I'm glad you agree with me.